Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Tonight, we're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case, and things are leaking out of the Pima County Sheriff's Office. It's getting messy. People are getting frustrated. We're at 2 months. A lot to talk about on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace. Smile through pain with a painted face. They called me too loud, too much, too strong. But honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me judged by the gloss, not the cause. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne.
Harold, what a month. Let's go. Dude, man. New member, welcome to your family. Angel Kisses, how you doing?
Coming in clutch, better tighten the pearls. Dropping cold facts, got the truth for the world. No smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch.
Let's go, everyone. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is the 2nd day of April, 2026. It is currently 8:04 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Hello, beautiful pairs. Thank you all so much for joining me. in the Nancy Guthrie case over 2 months now. And man, people are getting frustrated. They are getting really frustrated on the ground there. And I think even people in the department are getting frustrated. And we've spoken about Sheriff Doofy, also known as Sheriff Nanos, at length. But now, tonight, there's going to be a big interview, Mr. Brian Enton with his News Nation. He has a an interview tonight with someone in the department under disguise. And we're going to talk about that and a bunch of other things today. So before we get started, if you would be so, so kind and please do me a big favor, please hit that thumbs up button. Would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Also, if you or double tap the screen if you're on the mobile, or maybe if you would please share this live stream out, click that share button, copy that link in any of your favorite social media. Really appreciate that. Also, if you would consider hyping this video, you get 3 hypes a week. If you don't use it, you lose it. And it is absolutely free if you would consider giving us one of those hypes. Really appreciate it. Sheriff got, yes, 98%. 98% no confidence bill. I've never even heard of someone having a 98%. Like, even your best friends don't like you. You know what I mean? At 98%, oh Lord. I mean, those 2%, man, they are ride or dies, or they got to know something, or he's got to know something on them. Yeah, craziness, isn't it? Let me say hello to a few of you guys in chat. Jenny, good to see you, my dear. Appreciate you. Miss Shari, happy birthday to your dad always. Connie, hello. Is it someone's dad's birthday? Happy birthday to whoever daddy it is. Miss Lolo, Deanna, Mag, good to see you. Miss Tina, Wendy, hello. Peggy, there's our Ginger, and there's our Shannon. Good to see you, loves. Miss Connie Carew, Peggy, Mummy, Angel. Thank you so much for becoming a member, my dear. Appreciate that, by the way. Angel Kisses became a member. Really do appreciate that. Do be good to see you, my dear. Thank you so much, love. Welcome to the Pearl family as well. Miss Carol, 20 months. That's an OG. And here's another OG, Miss Shelly. Good to see you, Miss Shelly. And Yacht, becoming a new member. Welcome. Welcome, my dear. Thank you for renewing. Really do appreciate that, my love. And little black women, and thank you for gifting that promo. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Really do appreciate that. I use my hypes here. You are amazing, Yacht. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. It's very valuable for us creators trying to get it all out there. So thank you so much, Miss Tina. Hello, Robin. Giggle. Hello, darling. Good to see you. Miss Marilyn. I've been watching, side note, I've been watching just so many documentaries on Marilyn Monroe lately. Carrie, love Miss Marilyn Monroe. It really is, Tina. It really is. Big, big embarrassment. You know, his ego is his problem. Everyone says that, Mish. Everyone says he's got an ego. And it seems like he was the one out there. Remember, like, people couldn't believe how many press conferences he was having. And remember, like, in the very beginning when all of this was going on, and he started to do this random press conference, and we thought, oh, something's big Something's big here. It's coming. It was a regular press conference. We were like, what? Like, you didn't tell us anything. And people say, allegedly in that department, or that Nanos, he loves he's very sure of himself. You know what I mean? It always seems like the people that maybe shouldn't be sure of themselves are the ones that are sure of themselves. You know what I mean? Got a lot of good confidence in himself. But 98%, a lot of people don't have confidence in him. Miss Susan as well. Appreciate you. Love my pearls. We love you, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Um, yeah. Can you always happy? You can always mute if you want. Uh, is happy not happy? I don't see happy in here. Oh, oh, you don't like the 20 minutes of music of the intro unnecessary. That's okay. You can think it's unnecessary. That's fine. You can mute it. You can watch the replay. You can do whatever you want. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your input. Appreciate it. Miss Pammy, thank you so much, my love. Appreciate that. Good to see you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Miss Pammy. It's very kind of you, very generous. Really, really do appreciate you. Love you, Muffin. Love you, darling. I love the music. I like the music. I love the music. I like it. I like it. And I think it's uplifting in a world where this stuff is tough enough to listen to. Um, Sometimes you need a little positive note, you know? So I don't, Roxy. I don't at all. Um, but I appreciate input. I appreciate input. It's okay. All right. So I don't even know where to start because I want to cover a little part of what Brian was talking about. His interview doesn't come out till later tonight on News Nation. Today, or maybe it was yesterday, there was a big panel on Fox 10 Phoenix that was very interesting. And today, KATV are reporting lead investigator, which is very similar to what Brian Enton was reporting. Lead investigator had no homicide experience in the case. How are you investigating a homicide and you're a homicide detective, but you've never done a homicide? To me, that's like going into a doctor saying that they're like a brain surgeon, or someone saying they're a rocket scientist, but they've never done surgery on the brain. They might have stood over the surgeon or uh, helped with the rocket science, but not really good. Not really good. Yeah. Yeah. That's right, Michelle. Thank you guys. Um, I guess I like people to get right down to business. Well, I understand that, Happy. I understand that. I've told a few of my exes of that in the past. Get down to business. Come on, let's right. We've all told somebody that a time or two. Get down to business. All right. Moving on, onward and upward here. Let me just play a little something here that Mr. Inton, he's been working it out there. He's been working it, you know, really has. Um, let's get it started. He uh, did this interview with someone in the Pima County Sheriff's Office, and it's going to be it airs at 10 o'clock tonight on News Nation. It's about an hour and 45 minutes from now. Oh, it's going to be something. Um, he's under, I guess, disguise his voice, and obviously he's blacked out because knowing Nanos, oh, you're sweet, Joanne. Knowing Nanos, right? Like he is very well known to allegedly to be the type that gets back at you, and putting people he values the most or whatever in front of anyone else with the actual merit.
Inexperienced this person says that they were. Listen to this.
Hold on.
From what
Let me
you
find this right here.
was shocking about the early parts of this investigation when investigators first arrived at Nancy Guthrie's house that weekend, the first team that arrived, and how inexperienced this person says that they were. Listen to this. From what you know, were the initial people who responded inexperienced?
The people that were there on the scene were not 10-year homicide detectives. They didn't have a lot of experience in homicide at that point, to include the supervisor, who, from my understanding, never investigated homicide.
Now, we heard a little bit about this in the beginning, that this person didn't really have any much experience, but never investigating a homicide. And really, out of all cases, guys, out of all cases, this one, who in their right mind, Sheriff Nanos, who in their right mind is going to put him in charge of this case? And this, remember how we were saying, well, why the was this thing cleared in less than 48 hours? Well, now we know. You know, happy you like to talk about someone just trying to get into the point. This guy did. I mean, he was just in there and out. Why did you need to clear it so quickly? You know what I mean? Why? There was no point. Until you find Nancy, she lived alone. Nobody needed back in the house. Nobody lived there other than Nancy.
For being installed as the supervisor for the homicide unit.
So wait, so the supervisor who first responded to Nancy Guthrie's house had never investigated a homicide?
Correct.
How is that possible?
Plus, you have decisions made by people that will install friends and people that can do stuff for them, opposed to
people that will install friends and people that will do things for them, as opposed to the people that are under their own, as opposed to people that are there under their merit, meaning how they've worked their way up, their credentials, all of that. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. If Sheriff Nanos, in my opinion, had an ounce of spine or integrity whatsoever, he would, for his own county, he would be wanting the person that is the best investigative homicide, the head of homicide in his county, based upon how they perform, their merit, how long they've been there. And this guy is just, it's not anything other than loyalty. Loyalty. Exactly, Jane. Exactly. Amen. And look how much it's costing the outcome. Yeah. And this is the thing. I don't even blame the guy who's had never worked homicide before. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He's just doing what he knows to do. But this case is at the very least, right, Sheriff Nanos should have looked at this and said, and listen, people say people don't get special treatment based upon who you are. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. If he would have looked at this and he knew who Nancy was and said, oh, this could have been because of Savannah, right? Maybe I shouldn't have this guy who you chose to be the detective that's never been in homicide before. Maybe I should call the FBI in. I can't really be there because your brother died the next day, right? He was obviously allegedly ill, and he didn't, though, because he's got a chip on his fucking shoulder because of the FBI. You can't win with these type of people, right? Because he wasn't willing to do it, in my opinion, but he wasn't allowing the FBI, in my opinion, to do it. So everyone suffers. We'll just give it to this guy who has no homicide experience because it's about my ego, or I can't work because of things that's going on in my family. You know what I mean? Like, everyone fails when that happens. Now when the case goes to court, it'll be compromised, sadly. Oh, don't even get me started on that. He said, well, we'll let the courts worry about that. Most irresponsible thing I've ever heard in my life.
People that are there on their merit and can do the job correctly.
So obviously, two interesting things that the person tells me there. First of all, that the supervisor had no homicide experience, had never worked a homicide before, which could explain why the scene was cleared so quickly and other issues that happened early on. And then also the fact that this source says that the sheriff...
I don't know, Deb. That's a good question. I mean, like, I don't know if really Savannah can do anything about it, but Savannah has pressure, right? She's got that national pressure. But there are people, I mean, they're trying to recall him being sheriff anyways, but they need 120,000 signatures. I can't imagine fear poor Nancy having experienced so wrong. Yeah. Oh, I know. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Look at this. Let me find this right here. Check this out.
Homicide before, which could explain why the scene was cleared so quickly and other issues that happened early on. And then also the fact that this source says that the sheriff put people in leadership roles based more on loyalty and less on merit and less
loyalty. And what happens if you're not loyal? What does everyone report on Nanos? If you're not loyal, bully, big bully, right? Thank you, Miss Serenity. Appreciate you, my love. Thank you so much. Sheriff moved everyone that had experience and tenure to other places. This sheriff is an embarrassment. Yeah. And, we, in the very, very beginning, Daphne and I, when we were live, we usually look at like how many people they have on the department, how long they've been there, their disciplinary actions and all that. And we were looking this up, and we had noticed that there was really nobody over with 3 years of experience, which is such a rarity in these departments. Very rare. I mean, there's always new hire-alongs in departments, but generally you're going to see several with 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years of experience. There was none of that we saw. It's too late, if ever, to solve because it's starting off wrong. Well, it certainly started off wrong. I don't think the locals are showing enough support. I don't know. I think that they're pretty mad.
On
And I
people
think it's going to be a downhill
with
spiral from here.
experience. I reached out to Sheriff Nanos to get a comment on all
Listen.
of this. As of the recording of this video, I haven't heard back.
You know, there was so many disciplinary actions with this sheriff when he was, again, much younger in Texas, his first job. But then you look at, remember, I showed you the other day where the FBI was doing that investigation, him and two other people in the department. One ended up dying. And guess what? Nothing was really investigated properly in that either. Interesting. Miss Dolores. Hey, darling. Thank you so much, Mamacitas. Appreciate you. Love you. We love you, Miss Dolores. Thank you, darling. Appreciate you very much. Good to see you. Thank you so much, Miss Dolores. In my opinion, the sheriff is a distraction to NG. Glad Brian found. You know, that makes, swear to God, it makes me wonder. I mean, Angel, like, yeah, Brian went up there and he did see the blood at the door, but like, did everyone just like miss it, or hopefully they seen the blood before Brian, a reporter? You know what I mean? Like, I'm praying to the good Lord. If they missed that, there isn't a chance, no chance that this will be solved with PIMA County. You know, hey Deb, thank you so much, darling. Appreciate you. No Nest camera base taken until later. No fingerprints. Garage. No taking the mat. No allowing Equa search to do grid searches in desert. Nothing. That is correct. They didn't take the base of the Nest cam till later. And there's another thing, we're going to talk about that tonight. There's another little thing next to that someone was talking about. I want to go over that. Thank you for reminding me that. They went back and put this white sheet over and supposedly did, you know, some more tests. I think that's when they took the base. That was, what, weeks later? Garage. They focused a lot in the garage. We're going to get a little bit to that as well. No taking the mat. Unbelievable. That's what a mat is for, right? Like taking debris, dirt, hairs, fibers. He didn't even take the damn thing. The guy stood right on it. Not allowing Equa search or any of them to do searching. Unbelievable. It's crazy. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Specifically about some of these things that were
Thank you
brought
so
up.
much,
Again,
Jim.
I'm going to have the full interview coming up later on News Nation. But it's eye-opening. I mean, you know, as you peel back the layers to what was going on behind the scenes with the Nancy Guthrie investigation. I want to talk more about all of this with my friend and our retired FBI agent, Steve Moore.
I like this guy. This guy, he is former homicide. I think he was homicide 2 years. I think he retired in 2024, I want to say. Very good guy. And you know, I've said this earlier. This is probably the only case that I've ever seen where law enforcement speaks in any negative or even potential neutral, for that matter, light of another agency
why you're in
or
your
law enforcement.
car. So thanks for hopping on
Anytime.
with me. I want to
Let
to
me
the that
find this.
the people who responded to Nancy's house initially were the detectives were inexperienced. Specifically, the homicide supervisor had never worked a homicide before. Does that surprise you?
I would wonder how that person was put in charge of homicide if they've never worked a homicide case. To me, that's.
And you guys remember me, we were looking at this garage, or not the garage, the Ring doorbell. I'm going to show you something here in a minute. There's something beside this door that wasn't the Ring camera. That's not the doorknob. That's not the locks that someone noticed. And they didn't take it, but it could be of interest. Someone noticed it. I want to show it to you in a second. Hey Thomas, good to see you, friend. Thank you so very, very much. So much corruption from his El Paso record cover-up to his abuse of power to him promoting people not qualified, a supervisor, mind-blowing. Yep, and him swearing under the penalty of perjury that there was no disciplinary actions, or it was the years were different, is going to bite him in the arse eventually, in my opinion. I think that's what will get him not out of there, if nothing else, in my opinion. You're right, Thomas. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Dolores again, thank you so much, hon. Appreciate you. Thank you for missing me in chat. It shows you care about the program. Oh, thank you so much, my dear. We love you, Miss Dolores, and we always miss you guys if we don't see you for a minute. Any of you guys, we love every one of you. You guys are amazing. I would be interested in comments from his prior coworkers in El Paso. Oh my God, can you imagine Sheriff Nanos 35 years ago? How he is today. Look how he is today. Can you imagine him 35 years ago? Oh Lord. If he's bad now. I just like to see what he looked like 35 years ago.
Sounds like a political appointment. But I don't know the facts, but I never heard of something like that. You work your way up through, and the ones who rise to the top, whoever they may be, generally are the ones you want working homicide.
Yeah, law enforcement is generally how good you produce, right? If you produce results, you rise up the ranks. There is some level, I'm sure, of seniority, but if you're not producing results in your cases, getting convictions or whatever they require, not in this case. It's in Nano's case, it's who you know.
And because the job of the homicide supervisor is not just to click stats and stuff like that. Their job is to monitor the cases of the investigators and make sure that they are following cogent leads, that they have a good strategy for the case, and that they're not going off the deep end on rabbit trails. And so how can you do that if you're the one who somebody else should be monitoring?
Mm-hmm. Whenever Brian Enton interviewed one of the neighbors, the one that was out like in her bathtub, when she was talking about her sister, where the FBI went in to her house, and that was that weird thing. Brian had mentioned that, and that was 3 weeks after Nancy had went missing. 3 weeks. There was still, between FBI and Sheriff Nanos, there was still, they were allegedly just beginning to really, like legitimately work with each other then. Like 3 weeks afterward. If you look back at Nanos's press conference and stuff, I thought I mentioned this in my head whenever I was listening in the very beginning, because he always talked about our FBI and federal partners. He would say that over and over and freaking over again. And I thought, God, this guy really likes to talk about the FBI and federal partners. And now we learned that he's got a chip on his shoulder. And it shows you like he was out there just gaslighting the fuck out of people, in my opinion. Sorry for my French. But that's what it was. All our FBI partners. And he's like, yeah, they investigated you like just a couple years ago.
Yeah, I would think the supervisor, by definition, would be someone with a lot of experience.
Yeah, and it's funny in the FBI. There's a lot of consternation about sometimes agents just off probation putting in for supervisory positions when most agents on competitive squads. First of all, they don't want to be supervisors. They want to work the cases. And secondarily, it'll take you 10 years working your way up through the skills, through you have to.
That's the thing. He doesn't even have anyone there that's like 10 years with experience. And again, I think it's very calculated because he wants people, new rookies there that have no idea what they're doing. They will just follow the Mac Daddy above him. Sad, man.
Make cases. Somebody who's never made a case on the homicide squad is not going to be considered for the supervisor. So then you have to wonder why somebody who's never even worked a case got made a supervisor.
One thing that this source said in the interview was that the sheriff.
Yeah. How can you work? How can you be made a supervisor and you've never even worked a homicide? It's the dumbest thing, guys.
Basically a quote, put friends in positions of power versus people based on merit. So friends instead of people based on merit. And I know you were in the FBI, where I don't think it's as political because you don't have elected sheriffs and that kind of thing. But did that ever happen in the FBI? And when you would work with local municipalities on cases, did you see things like that happen where someone would get a job because they were friends with someone instead of, merit and how much experience they had?
I'm not going to say it never happened in the Bureau, but it was rare. And the reason is that there's a protocol. You can't just in the FBI say, oh, we need a supervisor here. I like him. He's going to do it. What you have to do is, because it has to be posted nationally to every single FBI agent who's eligible, so that they know that the job is.
Yep. When it's FBI is federal, right? So it goes to every bureau, that job opening, because they want the best of the best. I mean, the FBI is already the best of the best, but they want the best for that specific job.
For posting, people can have a lot to say,
which is what Sheriff Nano should want, right? The best for the job, but it's really if you're his pet.
About whether this
It seems,
person is
allegedly.
skilled enough to do this job or whether they have the experience. But one person generally cannot point and say that's the guy, unless
Okay.
they're very high up in the bureau. And I just didn't see that happen a lot. I've seen it more in local police agencies. But again, something like LAPD, they don't.
Thomas, good question. Thank you. Does PCSD not have some sort of oversight committee? Not that I'm aware of. Not that I am aware of. Hold on. Let me see here. Did you send that? Okay, look at this. Okay. I'm gonna play this. This is Nanos back in the day, and it will show you that there is no oversight. None.
In the Pima County Sheriff's Department. That's hundreds of thousands of RICO funds that should only be used to fight crime, but instead might be illegally used for other things.
Now, your side investigative reporter Valerie Cavazos joins us now with the exclusive details. Val.
As Sheriff Chris Nanos confirms, the FBI is still investigating its investigation into possible misuse of RICO funds and told KGUN 9 the FBI scheduled a second interview with one of his senior command staff this week.
Watch this.
The FBI began investigating claims that RICO money possibly bankrolled a remodel cafe for staff operated by Chief Deputy Chris Radke's niece, an allegation Nanos denies.
This is so sus, girl. This is the chip. We're working so good with our federal partners.
Nothing was done wrong with RICO monies or appropriation of funds in terms of any criminal activity. Were there mistakes made in the procurement process? Yes, there were, and I've corrected those.
But Dr. Richard Cremona, former U.S. Surgeon General and longtime deputy chief in the Sheriff's Department until earlier this year, believes the possible misuse of RICO money extends beyond the cafe controversy.
Oh, you haven't seen
Cremona
nothing
says
yet.
he's been interviewed by the FBI, and over the past year, he spoke with many officers and civilians who were also called in to talk to agents.
I said, well, what'd they ask you? And it was interesting that the pattern of questioning was the same with all of these people. And it was all about three people: Brad Gagnapane, Chris Radke, Chris Nanos.
Brad Gagnapane, the former chief of staff, Chris Radke, the chief deputy, and Sheriff Chris Nanos. Cremona says last year, while sitting in a meeting with senior command and staff, they began discussing the annual awards banquet.
This is going to be very expensive. It's going to cost $30,000 or $40,000. We don't have any money. And I was looking, I said, well, let's reach out to some of the businessmen in town. Let's do this. Nanos says, Brad's got it handled. You don't need to worry about it.
At the time, Cremona didn't know that RICO money played a part.
Well, the awards banquet is held by us, and we would use RICO dollars, which is appropriate.
Is it?
By law.
An awards banquet is appropriate.
Well, let me explain to you. By law.
By law, it's appropriate. So we can get our tuxedos and all of that.
Barbara, there isn't one penny of RICO dollars we've ever spent or will spend without going through the process of the county attorney's review and saying whether or not it's lawful or not. I'll tell you right now, do I like that idea? No, not really. But you can buy an award for one of your deputy or staff.
Do I like that idea? Not really. Well, according to the other guy, you were the one that said, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Using RICO dollars.
That's true. RICO funds can cover the awards, but not food and entertainment. KGUN 9 obtained ledgers dating back to 2009 and 2010, showing tens of thousands of dollars in RICO funds moved from the general fund to the Sheriff's Auxiliary Volunteers Account, or SAV.
Listen to this.
The list of purchased items include tuxedos, flowers, furniture, and entertainment equipment.
Basically, what this is showing:
food, flowers, entertainment, tuxedos, awards.
Point is that it was
I wonder if there's a Corvette in there.
common practice for the awards dinners to be paid for through the SAV funds and with the help of the RICO funds.
RICO funds and individual funds were put into the SAV accounts under an account that dealt with the awards banquet.
The ledger shows a RICO deposit of $35,000 in September of 2010, labeled Special Awards Fund. Several sources have told Nine on Your Side that this practice of allegedly using RICO funds in ways they shouldn't be, from at least 2009, have continued for several years after that, including this year.
Several years it went on, including the year that this was reported.
Nanos told KGUN 9 the FBI has interviewed a staff member from the finance department.
What's
And
this?
we started hearing from the financial officer saying that there was illegal activity with the RICO funds. You can't use them that way.
Remember, FBI agents were asking questions about Chief of Staff Brad Gagnapane.
Yes, Fire Girl Crime. It's supposed to.
Gagnapane was found dead, shot outside a neighbor's house. The county medical examiner's office.
Okay, I'm just going to play that again. I just want you to make sure I don't miss that part. Thank you, Miss Terry. Thank you. Really do appreciate that. Thank you so much, my friend. Oh man. Okay, just back that little part up right there. Okay.
Ruled it to be.
Started hearing from the financial officer saying that there was illegal activity with the RICO funds. You can't use them that way.
Remember, FBI agents were asking questions about Chief of Staff Brad Gagnapane. 3 months ago,
the FBI was asking about this guy, Brad Gagnapane, with the Chief of Staff. Okay? Now listen to what happens to him.
Gagnapane was found dead, shot outside a neighbor's house. The county medical examiner's office ruled it to be a suicide.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Chief of Staff outside in a neighbor's yard. Now, you think this is bad enough? Terrible. No. Listen to the investigation into him now.
The sheriff's report shows the neighbor called 911. Sheriff Nanos and Deputy Chris Radke showed up at the scene. Within hours, Carmona began receiving calls that
And appropriate processes and procedures were not followed based on what the deputies and detectives at the scene said.
Oh. Well, Mr. Nanos shows up. And the other guy. And the detectives there are saying the policy and procedures were not done. And that was weird to them, right? Because you have an order of how you do things, right? Keep listening.
I can't believe 1 minute that anybody called Carmona. I can't believe that. But maybe I'm wrong.
in the sheriff's report, on the night of the suicide, the neighbor said Gagnapane had been arguing and texting his wife on his cell phone, but detectives were not allowed to interview her, a key witness. Only Nanos and Radke spoke to her.
That's right. That's right. The investigators was not allowed to interview the dead man's wife. Only Nanos and the other deputy could interview her. Nobody else. You don't touch it. Okay.
But there isn't a report from either one.
Oh, they didn't make a report. They didn't even make a report on what They spoke. You make a report on everything. Everything. Much less a self-inflicted unaliving or anything with a death. Not here. Not here. And you're not interviewing her either.
One detective reports he was not allowed to look for a suicide note in Gagnon Payne's house.
Come again? You can't. So you ruled it a self-inflicted unaliving. I can't talk to the dead man's wife, who was already part of this RICO thing. Only Nanos and the other guy can. And we're not going to do a report, and you're not going to let them look for a letter or really any evidence inside the home that you have already deemed a self-inflicted unaliving. Seems legit.
And a supervisor told a detective they would not be going to the autopsy, which sources say is normal procedure.
Yes. Absolutely normal procedure. Absolutely normal procedure. Deputies, police officers attend autopsies every day. Every day. And they weren't even allowed to go to the autopsy. And first of all, how does Nanos and this other guy already say it is a self-inflicted unaliving? And that is up to the coroner. But you're not even allowing the other homicide detectives and stuff show up. Okay.
Were the detectives allowed to go to the autopsy?
I don't know why they wouldn't be.
He's not a good liar. He didn't answer it. I don't know why they wouldn't be. No direct answer. I don't know why they wouldn't be. You ask it with another question.
I don't know. Let me ask
the
this.
Question mark.
I don't know why they would go. It's a suicide.
And the public,
You don't make that decision, sir. You don't make that decision. That is up for the medical examiner. They are the one that signs it, what it is, right? Cause and manner.
I think rightfully needed to know that because his suicide was coincident with him finding out that he was part of the FBI investigation.
The shame is this.
Wow.
This is a guy who spent 30 plus years of his life serving this community.
So the question
And
is
they're
then
gonna
why?
trash him. And they're going to trash him. Shame on them.
Then why?
Shame on them.
Then why did he commit
Because
suicide?
Well, I don't know his demons.
Why would he? I mean, you don't know why. And again, I agree with him that you don't know what's going on in their head. But it's very strange to me that he did this outside at a neighbor's house, and you can't interview the wife, can't look for a note, can't go in their house, can't attend an autopsy. All of this is going on with where the funds are going. That's what it feels like, Sandwich. If that guy's wife is still alive, they should.
Was he questioned by the FBI? Was he a primary person in the FBI investigation?
No. No, I don't believe that at all.
Do you know what? See, this is the thing. You just heard him. She didn't even get her fucking question out. He is not a leader, in my opinion. She didn't even get her question out. And she said, was he, being investigated by the FBI? And he said, he was going to say, you'll have to ask him. Listen, go back. But he corrected, well, you can't ask him. He's dead.
Serving this community.
So the question
And
is
they're
then
gonna
why?
trash him. And they're going to trash him. Shame on them.
Then why?
Shame on them.
Then why did he commit
Because it's-
suicide?
Well, I don't know his demons.
Right after him.
Was he questioned by the FBI? Was he a
Don't know that.
primary person
You'll have to
in the
ask-
FBI investigation?
You seem you're going to have to ask.
No, I don't believe that at all. I don't know it, but I don't believe it at all.
The possible obstruction of justice issue deals with whether normal law enforcement procedures were followed before the medical examiner made it.
You can see, the finger pointing. You can tell, bully.
So the question
And
is
they're
then
going to
why?
trash him. And
Then,
they're going to trash him. Shame on them.
then why?
Shame on them.
Then why did
Bully.
he commit
Because it's-
suicide?
Well, I don't know his demons.
Was he questioned by the FBI? Was he a
Don't know that.
primary person
You'll have to
in the
ask-
FBI investigation?
No, I don't believe that at all. I don't know it, but I don't believe it at all.
The possible obstruction of justice issue deals with whether normal law enforcement procedures were followed before the medical examiner made his determination of suicide involving the death of former Chief of Staff Brad Gagnon. Now, I asked Sheriff Nanos if I could interview Deputy Chief Chris Radke, and he told me no. Now, according to Nanos, the
Oh, look at there. Look at there. You see, that makes, in my opinion, when these reports are coming out saying you can't interview the wife, you can't go in the house. This reporter just asked if she could report on, speak to the Gagnon. He said no.
obstruction of justice issue deals with whether normal law enforcement procedures were followed before the medical examiner made his determination of suicide involving the death of former Chief of Staff Brad Gagnon. Now, I asked Sheriff Nanos if I could interview Deputy Chief Chris Radke, and he told me no. Now, according to Nanos, the FBI investigation is nearing its end, and we might know more in the coming days. Back to you.
Isn't that crazy? So crazy. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Deb. Sheriff Department covers up crime and let Brad take the fall as a... So Sheriff, dirty cover up. Did Nancy know something? Something is fishy. Well, something like, I really try not to get down the conspiracy theories or anything but one
allegations of money laundering and
it truly makes me wonder. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, interesting. It truly makes me wonder because Nancy was in local politics. And it does make me wonder sometimes, like, hell, what is going on? All right, watch this. Watch this. Then I found
claims made against him by department employees.
That question has surfaced after the deputies union president accused Sheriff Chris Nanos of workplace bullying. Sergeant Kevin Kubitsky filed a complaint with the county in March, launching an investigation. Kubitsky not only complained about threats, but also harassment and a hostile work environment. KGUN 9 obtained the final report, which has now become the center of controversy. Not on your sides, investigative reporter Valerie Cavazos has more.
Sergeant Kevin Kubitsky, the union president, has a lengthy list of workplace complaints covering 2 years against Sheriff Chris Nanos, charging him with managing by threats and intimidation.
All the little things that have been done and have happened since that time frame, they've added up, and it's quite severe.
Take a look at the final report by a county human resources investigator.
Human Resources conducted an investigation into the allegations of workplace violence involving Kevin Kubitsky, alleged victim, and Christopher Nanos, alleged perpetrator, employees of the Sheriff's Department. The investigation is concluded and the evidentiary findings are contained within the attached report. I concur that the findings of the allegations of workplace violence is unsubstantiated. I also concur that the finding that there is sufficient evidence to substantiate that Kubitsky was a victim of workplace bullying as defined by the Board of Supervisors Policy D23, preventing and identifying and addressing workplace bullying.
Kubitsky reported Nanos told a large crowd of union members a year ago that he yells at Kevin all the time. And
yeah.
When the two spoke after the meeting, Kubitsky reported Nanos assaulted him. He jabbed him over and over in his shoulder while the two argued about the union's possible legal action over wage issues.
Wage issues. Seems like, in my opinion, something's up with the money. The money. Is that part of the reason, potentially, that he likes having, rookies on? You don't pay him as much? I don't know. I'm asking the question.
He told me that if I push forward with the membership and the attorney and filed a lawsuit against the county, that I would be done.
Nanos also sent out a department-wide email singling out Kubitsky as a disruptive force and can no longer work with this office on any labor issue. When the county HR investigator interviewed Nanos, the sheriff said he didn't assault Kubitsky and had apologized to him, but Nanos also admitted that it's inappropriate for anybody to put their hands on anybody. And when the investigator asked Nanos about the disruptive force comment and that county email is a public record, Nanos replied, "I don't care. You get what you get with me." The investigator asked Nanos if he considered county.
You get what you get with me. You get what you get. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Miss Tina, welcome to the Pearl family. Really, really do appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Miss Tina. Thank you, love. Really do appreciate your support. Isn't the current president, where was that, of the union now also complaining about Nanos? Allegedly, yes. Yes, of the union, you mean? I used to tell my kids that at dinner time, yeah. Maybe sheriff wanted a cut of no.
County policies when he sent email messages on a county system. Nanos replied, "I don't consider them at all. I don't even know what those are." The investigator concluded Nanos did not assault Kubitsky, but he did bully him. And
what does everyone complain about? That he's a bully. This actually allegedly got physical, though. This guy says it got physical. Now it's unsubstantiated, the report finds, but they was able to prove that there was bullying. Why so many inexperienced detectives? Are they on a lower? Well, that's what I'm. Yes, in cold mood. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, to me, there's only two reasons, in my opinion, why he would want, like, police officers. They're all like 3 years and under. Been there. Is A, they don't know a lot. You don't want to get fired from your first police job, right? Because you probably want to move on later. So they're not going to speak up or be, you're more likely to take more from a senior when you've not been a police officer that long, in my opinion, and also lower wages, right? Oh, thank you, Miss Jackie. Good to see you, love. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate you. Very kind of you. Love from the AU. We love the AU. Thank you, baby. Really, really do appreciate you. So good to see you, and thank you for being a member, my dear. Rookies are less likely to notice due to not being familiar with how Nanos does things. Absolutely. 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 Hey, darling.
And then he recommended Nanos ensure compliance with all county policies. 2 superiors reviewed the report and signed it in mid-July, but 3 more signatures were needed, and the report sat for 3 months. Kibitsky sued, claiming the county withheld the documents, and a day before it was released, the deputy county administrator, Tom Burke, wrote he did not concur. And in a memo, he said the investigation was not conducted in a neutral fashion, and the investigator was biased in his line of questioning. In addition to that, Burke didn't believe the county HR department has the authority to investigate complaints against elected officials. Elected officials are not employees of the Board of Supervisors and are not subject to discipline or dismissal by the board.
Unbelievable.
So is that true? We reached out to the county administrator, Chuck Huckleberry, but he would not comment on the complaint. We also reached out to the Pima County Attorney's Office, the civil legal advisor for the county. They checked into it, but told me there is no public legal opinion on the oversight of elected officials like sheriff, so they can't answer those questions. So at this point, unlike city police chiefs who must report to city officials, it seems the county sheriff is an elected official constitutionally accountable to the voters, but under no real oversight at all. And we'll continue to investigate and follow the developments. Valerie Cavazos, KG9 on your side.
Look at this, $500,000. $500,000 doll hairs. Doll hairs.
$1 million. That is the amount Chief Deputy Chris Radke is accused of money laundering. The FBI released the indictment late this afternoon after Sheriff Chris Nanos held a news conference on the allegations.
This follows our story last week on the whistleblowers who prompted an FBI investigation into how the Sheriff's Department uses RICO funds.
Now, you know, it's bad. I don't even know what to say. I'm really kind of speechless in this one. You going to bed, Sheila?
The money seized from criminals. KG9 investigative reporter Valerie Cavazos has
money seized from criminals, right? Like if it's rug money or something, what are they doing with it? Well, you can't, you know, there's laws that are in place so where you have to.
Has been covering this story and has the latest now.
Sitting at his desk before reporters, Sheriff Chris Nanos read from a prepared statement, beginning with,
as you all know, recent events have shaken this organization to its core and have required me to take time to pause and reflect and consider necessary corrective actions.
He said he would conduct a comprehensive review of all procedures. He says mistakes may have been made, and this has been a learning process for him.
I will be meeting with each and every commander within this organization. I will take the time necessary to explain to the extent I understand and am able to disclose, and how and why recent events came to be.
This sheriff's statement comes just a week after our investigation into the FBI probe. Multiple whistleblowers came forward about serious issues with senior command. The focus of the investigation, Sheriff Nanos, former Chief of Staff Brad Gagnapane, who months ago committed suicide, and Chief Deputy Chris Radke, now in...
Yeah. Yep. One's dead. One sheriff. And the other one, I don't know.
Indicted for misuse of RICO funds. And less than an hour after the news conference, the FBI indictment was released. The time spans 5 years, dating back to
5 years.
2011. Chris Radke is accused of conspiring with others to commit money laundering. According to the indictment, he donated the RICO funds to the Sheriff's Auxiliary Volunteers of Tucson. Radke and others made it appear that RICO money was being used by the SAV by using SAV checks and credit card to pay for items that were actually purchases for the sheriff's office. About $500,000 total.
I feel like there's something really wrong here.
Examples include $300 in restaurant bills, nearly $300 for a Santa sleigh, which was to be used at the annual awards banquet, more than $600 spent on 2 model airplanes, which list Radke's name on the invoice, and more than $800 in artwork. The indictment refers to others who conspired with Radke, but no other names are given. Again, Sheriff Nanos only read from the statement, and he didn't allow any questions from reporters.
Oh, no questions. No questions from reporters again. No questions. How interesting. How interesting. Yeah. Do you want to see this? Look at this. This is when he was firing back. We've all seen this picture, but we've not seen the
flaws in our procurement process that we hope to have corrected. We're still working on some things, permits at the jail, those types of things. This was all done prior to me getting here, but we recognize that, yeah, we've made some missteps and we're taking care of that. When it comes to an FBI investigation, I was taken back by that as much as anybody. Here's an agency who, for years, has been known to deny or acknowledge or anything.
Look at that. Right there. The chip on his shoulder. Right there. Boom. Let's play that little part again. Oh, you're welcome, honey. Thank you. Look at this. Chip. This is why we don't have, in my opinion, why Nancy Guthrie is not found today already.
When it comes to an FBI investigation, I was taken back by that as much as anybody. Here's an agency who, for years, has been known to deny or acknowledge or anything about any kind of investigation. They're famous for that. And yet they confirm Miss Caitlin's sources to her, I'm told. And that I'm told by Miss Caitlin Schmidt, that she called me a couple of days ago and said,
an agency for years has denied about this, about that. Buy a Corvette and a fancy house. Yes, yeah. Why did he not want the FBI involved from the beginning? He's got a big old chip on his shoulder.
Hey, what do you know about this FBI investigation? I says, well, why are you asking me about an FBI investigation? You should be asking them. It's their investigation. And she says, well, I did. I said, well, what did they tell you? She says, well, they confirmed what my sources have told me. I said, well, that's nice.
So have you been interviewed by the FBI?
Absolutely not, no. Andy Black from their director for Tucson office talked to me in December. And at that time, the conversation was so benign, he led me to believe there wasn't an investigation. In fact, it was more along the lines of fatherly advice about things that had nothing to do with this. It was almost a bizarre conversation I had with him, but never anything about an investigation.
Bizarre?
And then in January, I got word from one of my employees who said the FBI interviewed me. And so that's when I called Mr. Black out, the director here, and said, what's up, Andy? Are you doing an investigation or not? And now he tells me, well, it's just a preliminary investigation. So I don't know what.
So one of the employees, I guess, was being interviewed, and I guess went to Nanos and said they just interviewed me about you,
The difference between
and the other guys about
preliminary and
this.
criminal, you'd have to ask the FBI.
Allegedly.
But I know that once Caitlin called me, I spoke to the FBI and I let them know pretty much how unhappy I was for the you know, I think I told you.
How unhappy he was.
Ms. Schmidt should be on the FBI's payroll. She's done a better job investigating this case than the FBI has. The FBI's...
See the chips? See the chips? All on his shoulder.
Had it for 90, since November, 90 days. And they've interviewed 3 employees.
Sheriff Nanos, guess what? You're at what? 63 days or something like that? Boy, it's easy to throw the FBI under the bus on that one. But where's Nancy? Where's Nancy? We're at day... Hold on, I'll tell you. Damn, I can't see. 61? 61? We're almost going to be at 90 for long if you don't underlay it up.
They've not asked for any records. Ms. Schmitz asked for all of our financial records. We gladly gave them to her. We cooperated fully with it. We recognized our missteps. Was there a violation of some obscure law, as others have said, some procurement law? It's a civil process where we messed up on a procurement issue where we didn't have those with disability get first shot at a contract. Yep, we probably did. We admit to that. Our mistake. Was there disability vending machines already placed here? Absolutely. We already had them. They were here. They've been offered the...
So now there's vending machines? Did you say disability vending machines? Yeah, we purchased them. They're already here? Yeah, something's weird. Thomas, the corruption runs wide and deep, in my opinion. I think, thank you so much, Thomas. I think this might open up even more after Nancy is found and all of this is done. I think it might. And if Nanos is particularly, there's 120,000 signatures in Pima County.
Jail. They've even since then been offered here, and they still turned it down. So all of those things, those questions that were produced by Ms. Schmidt, to me, we've resolved. In terms of the FBI investigation of RICO funds, well, that's just crazy. We have access, absolutely, and Mr. Black knows this, we have no access to RICO funds, never have. It goes through the county attorneys. When you want RICO dollars, and oh, by the way, we don't buy binoculars, and when I came in office, I said enough of that.
When he came in office, enough of that. But there was, model cars, a Santa sleigh, just a bunch of other BS.
Got enough stuff. So we bought some tasers. Okay, good. It's appropriate expense for RICO. But I think look at our RICO dollars and go, it should be put back into this community where it really has an impact on crime, on substance abuse and things of that nature. So we look at those nonprofits who and I actually showed up at the door of Youth on Their Own because I heard about them. And I showed up at their door and said, why aren't you guys applying? This is a great organization who does some great things with our kids. Kids who are on the street homeless or taken away by the courts have nowhere to go, and they make them stay in school. 97% success rate. That's who I'd rather see my RICO dollars go to. Programs like Amastatus, LULAC, Youth on Their Own, YWCA, several of them. We've given, since I've been in office, over $150,000 to those types of programs. But they're programs that are designed to help our kids stay out of jail.
He's deflecting,
So your
in my opinion.
never used RICO dollars for either of these cafeterias?
No, not to my knowledge at all. We thought we had. I think.
Yeah. You see how he answered there? No, not to my knowledge at all. And then he says, we thought we had. You know, sometimes you can know something in crime, you can know something that happened, but you can't prove it happened. I'm not saying it in this case or any case, but I'm saying I've spoken to law enforcement in the past, and they said sometimes we know, we just can't, we don't have enough to prove.
I think that when she, in her article, she mentioned that Captain Janes, who was new at the time as down there, mentioned to her that the refrigerators were purchased with RICO dollars, and that there was some $20,000 purchase. Well, the refrigerator was $4,000, and we thought, as he did, that it was RICO dollars. We checked with our downtown procurement office.
How can you think it was RICO or not? Like, you know where the damn you get the money to pay for a damn refrigerator from?
Also oversees our purchases, and they said, no, it was general fund money. Okay, so he misspoke. Oh, we're hiding something very nefarious of us. See, we did this cafeteria thing based on nothing more than a desire to help our staff. That's all it was. Trying to do the right thing for the right reasons, not worrying about doing things right, black and white. Okay, I get it. Sometimes we have to do that just for appearance, but this office has always been transparent, always. We have given Caitlin every document she's asked. She even asked for documents that when we gave them to her, she said, why did I want this? I don't know, Caitlin, but you asked for it, so we're gonna give it to you. We would give you everything you want, any document you want. All of those.
9 years old.
The FBI hasn't come by and
9
asked for
years.
those documents. They've not asked for.
This
hey,
is
can we
9
see
years
your
old.
Procurement policies and procedures. Could we see your RICO policies and procedures? Could we see your expenditures for RICO? Could we see your expenditures for procurement? You see that, but yet they've had it for 3 months and interviewed 3 employees. You know, I really am. If I'm upset at anybody, I'm upset at the FBI. You confirm something that you never confirm.
You hear that? He just said it with his own lips. If I'm upset with anybody, I'm upset with the FBI. Chip.
3 employees. You know, I really am. If I'm upset at anybody, I'm upset at the FBI.
There you go.
Confirm something that you never confirm. I understand the paper said, Ms. Schmidt put in her article that they didn't confirm it, but I know she told me they did. So I'm guessing that she probably got confirmation off the record. Well, that's inappropriate too. No matter what the story is, the FBI to me has better things to do. If they don't, then come out and ask us what you can do. 2 weeks ago, we had their corruptions unit call my internal affairs and say, we're slow. There's nothing going on. Do you have anything for us? Well, if I'm managing a case that I think is that critical and important where I'm involving a law enforcement agency, one of the largest ones under my jurisdiction, I think that's pretty critical. I think that's pretty important. And I would turn to my staff and say, and I do, because we investigate cases for other agencies, and I say, it's important to them. So you get it done and do it completely, thoroughly, and oh, by the way, timely. 90 days, 3 interviews of employees who, for all I know, are just upset at for some reason, but nothing more. No request for records, no request for financial stuff, no talk to the sheriff.
Oh, so it's just the employees, or again, that is taking it out, in my opinion, on the employees who reported this. Just employees that are upset about something.
Nothing. So, yeah, am I upset at the FBI? Absolutely. They should.
There you go. Another chip. Damn, this is stacked more than freaking Pringles.
They get by with saying,
listen,
no comment. Who does that in today's world?
Listen.
So, yeah, am I upset at the FBI? Absolutely. They should. They get by with saying, no comment. Who does that in today's world? Who does that? Yet they get by with that. And when this thing's all resolved and the case is all over, I challenge him. I challenge Mr. Black to stand up to that camera by himself and say, we have looked at this investigation and we have exonerated, completely find this investigation to be total BS. because that's what it is. But you won't hear that because they won't confirm or deny.
So did you reach out? You might have mentioned this, but did you reach out to them after this story?
Unbelievable.
I reached out to them. What is today's Friday? No,
Yes.
Caitlin told me she was writing the story. In fact, I told Caitlin I want her to write the story. I want her to quote me that I think the FBI, if they are having problems doing criminal investigations, please call us because we have real policemen here.
Oh my God. He says, if the FBI is having a problem investigating this, I want them to call us because we have real policemen here. That didn't age well. That didn't age well. That's all I gotta say. Because the FBI is having to go back under your ass, Nanos, in my opinion, and cleaning up after someone that you hired that's never been on a homicide investigation ever, according to reporting. And here we are 60 days later. The audacity, mother chicken. Yes, the audacity. Holy moly. Nancy Guthrie is missing.
We'll do that for you.
Listen to
the story. I want her to quote me that I think the FBI, if they are having problems doing criminal investigations, please call us because we have real policemen here. We'll do that for you.
He is essentially saying, in my opinion, that the FBI are not real policemen. If they need help, call us. This is epic, Justin. My God in heaven, Lord. He is, I mean, all of the people that's coming out and saying this man is arrogant as a mofo. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Because obviously they can't get it done.
So you're upset that they went, and confirmed this to
Mhm.
a news agency
Absolutely.
instead of coming to you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm upset at that, and I'm upset at the inappropriateness of their investigative efforts. And they are inappropriate.
So, as far as you're concerned, do you think the department has done anything wrong?
No. Do we make some mistakes here? Absolutely. Was there anybody here making money and had this criminal intent? And as far as, no. Was some of the better decisions to say,
anybody have criminal intent yet? No.
well, intent and as far as, no. Was some of the better decisions to say, okay, this is Chief Radke's family niece, probably we should look somewhere else? Probably so. But those weren't my decisions. Those were Sheriff Dupnick's decisions.
Hold on, what?
And probably so. But family niece, probably we should look somewhere else. Chief Radke's family niece, probably we should look somewhere else? Probably so. But those weren't my decisions.
What does that mean?
Those were Sheriff Dupnick's decisions. And Chief Radke assured him at that time, I'm out of it. I think the truth behind that was simply this. We had a contract employee here. The contract employee here was working and we got EEO complaints. We dismissed them. We dismissed that contractor. So we turned around and said, how do we get it filled? It's not easy to get somebody in here because you have to, first of all, have a background. But when Chris said, I could get my niece, she does a catering service, she'll come in here and charge us nothing. I thought, well, we don't want any money for it. I didn't want to make money on the deal. I just wanted to give my employees something cheap, a decent meal. You see where we're at. You got.
So did they hire the niece? Did they hire the niece? Did they keep it in the family?
20 minutes to get to a restaurant and back and have your food done. Some places it's not possible. The jail particularly, they're locked in. I have corrections officers who are locked in a pod, and the only—
My God, he is so profound, y'all. He is so profound. At the jail, they're locked in. Who would have thunk? My Lord. It gets me every time.
only chance they have is maybe 15 minutes to run downstairs and grab something out of the cafeteria, and back up they go. They're not going anywhere for food. So we've shut that operation down. I get it. We're going to go through the right processes. It's just the way things are set up. We don't always like that, but that's what it is. There are rules out there. There's bureaucracy out there. I understand it. I shake my head and go, aye, but we still get it done. And we're going to do that in this case. The cafe was nothing more than an opportunity to help our staff out. Somebody got this wild idea that, oh, somebody's done something wrong here. This is nepotism. You know, we hire.
I don't think it's a wild idea that the FBI just gets a wild idea. There has to be usually some probable cause to get a warrant, right, Sheriff Nanos? Like, you know, with how they do, how you did with Carlos and the dailies, right? Some probable cause. You should you explain that all the time.
Hundreds of people here who are fathers, sons, mothers, wives, husbands, all over the department. There was nothing here. In fact, Chief Radke said in the article, I excused myself from the process once that happened. But then they said, well, he was overseeing it all. He's the captain of that division. Why? And there was an email showing that he had contact. Well, the email was, after Caitlin found out this, he sent that email up saying, hey, I washed my hands of it. Well, of course he's going to wash his hands of it because he's overseeing it. He has to. If he was over our criminal investigations division, he could care less. He wouldn't even have to exclude himself for it. He recognized that he was over that area and he couldn't be partaking in it. So it was then given to now my chief of staff, Brad Gagnapane, or Carl Woolridge to handle. Byron Gwaltney, my chief at the jail, handled all the jail procurements. It was just a matter of getting things done for our staff. There was nobody here doing something nefarious. And apparently somebody thinks otherwise. Okay, well then investigate it.
So I think you said, as far as you know, it's just a preliminary investigation, but I mean, I assume the department is going to work with the FBI if they do want to.
Well, we've always worked with them. But you know what? I asked them yesterday, or was it yesterday? Yesterday or the day before? I said, yesterday. I wanted, heck with this preliminary investigation. Why are you doing a preliminary investigation?
Did he say gang
I
up?
want the FBI to send this case, take it away from the director here. He's already showed his bias. He is biased on this case. He's already done.
He wants to talk about bias. Yeah, you're not biased right there, are you? Either. You've not been biased, allegedly, for the past 9+ years.
Done that. He's shown it. And I'd like them to take it away from here, send it to Phoenix, send it to Washington, D.C., and start a full-blown investigation. I don't want a preliminary. I want a full-blown investigation. Show me where we violated the law, FBI.
FBI?
If you did anything wrong or you committed.
Absolutely. I've got all my RICO stats right here, waiting to give them to you. Come and get them. Here they are. They've been here forever. You can see how the process is. He knows very well what the process is. Somebody asks for dollars. Amastatus, youth on their own. YWCA, can I have monies? We do this. Well, yeah, sure. I can't reach into my pockets. I don't have that access. Well, you have to fill out some forms and they have to qualify by state law what those statutes are. Or did I say state law? Oh, that's right. The feds are now investigating state crimes. I don't know.
There's a chip right there.
We look at the RICO statutes. We give that application they fill out. Do they qualify? We're not making that decision. We send it to the county attorney. Oh, by the way, guess who has access to the funds? Not us, not the county attorney, the county treasurer. So the funds go to, the process goes to the county attorney's office. They either approve it or deny it. If it's approved,
Yes, but you're also talking about the money, the cash that is allegedly collected from criminals, where that money went as well, right? Am I
they
right?
send all the money here. No. They send the request over to the county treasurer and say, these funds have been approved for release to this group. We get notice and we send a letter to the group saying, you've been approved. And a check is cut from the county treasurer's office to that group. But it is a process that is monitored and handled by the county attorney. And if we're doing it through the state attorney generals, the state attorney general. If we had federal RICO dollars, we would use the feds for that, because it's a process we've used all the time. And we have every year, we have given reports to the Department of Justice. This year's no example of all of our RICO expenditures. FBI has access to that. So why haven't they looked at that? 90 days and they've done 3 interviews. If I had a homicide case and I did 3 interviews in 90 days, we do 3 interviews in 30 minutes.
That's your problem, Nanos, right there. You do 3 interviews in 30 minutes. That's your problem. Yeah. You let Nancy's house go in the first 48 hours. That's the problem. FBI plays the long game. I cannot believe this mofo.
We have given reports to the Department of Justice. This year's no example of all of our RICO expenditures. FBI has access to that. So why haven't they looked at that? 90 days and they've done 3 interviews. If I had a homicide case and I did 3 interviews in 90 days, we do 3 interviews in 30 minutes. Last night we had a homicide case we were working and we had 3 interviews in less than a half an hour.
Last night we did a homicide case and we did 3 interviews in less than a half an hour. Call him, FBI, right? Wait, he didn't call you for 3 weeks about, right? Or might have called you, but maybe wasn't sharing too much info, right?
They took 90 days to do 3 interviews on a case that they believe is in half an hour. They took 90 days to do 3 interviews.
90 days
that they believe is important. Well, if it's so important, why aren't you on it? Get this thing resolved for me. Don't sit there and let it linger and linger and linger so that they just can conveniently do what they want. No, I'm not very happy with the FBI. We've worked with the FBI for my career the entire time here. Had a good working relationship, 30, 40 years, great working relationship. They've been assigned to this office. We've had staff assigned to that office. And in a 30, 90 days time, we have a new director over there who's screwed up that entire relationship as far as I'm concerned. I have no trust in his ability to manage that case or that office.
Well, he just told you right there. Right there's the bombshell. Right there.
We have a new director over there who's screwed up that entire relationship as far as I'm concerned. I have no trust in his ability to manage that case or that office.
He has no trust in that case or that office. There you go. There you go. He's got a big ass chip on his shoulder. And it could not be any more clear. Not be any more clear. All right, moving on here, guys. Look at this. I want to show you something. You remember obviously you remember the guy with the doorbell, at the doorbell, right? Let me just show you. Look at this. Remember when he was thought he was, watch this. He's like, looks like he's ringing the doorbell or something. Remember that? Right there. Someone made an observation, and I thought it was interesting. Amy still could be ringing the doorbell. I don't know. What is this thing on the door? What is that thing? You see what I'm talking about? Right beside, right here, this black thing. What is that? I never noticed it before. I mean, you could say it's a bolt or a screw, but what would it be used for? Like, oh my God, guys, I was muted. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I was gabbing my ass off. I'm sorry. Is Justin not talking? Yeah, sorry about that. Plant Lady, 21 months, rock star, legend. How you doing, man? It's just a very odd place, right? It's just a very odd place for whatever this is. And it's right by that doorbell. Thank you so much. 21 months, Plant Lady. I love you, Justin, and all the beautiful pearls. Not as much as we love you, girlfriend. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate your continued support, Plant Lady. You're an OG rock star, my dear. Love you. Miss Michelle. How you doing, girl? Hey, Justin, and all. Sorry I missed you. Most all the program. You got to go back and watch it because it's quite. Love this podcast. Love you, babies. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. You'll want to see it about Mr. Sheriff Doofy. It is not good. Not good. He, I just proved, in my opinion, where he has the chip. Big old chips on his shoulder. Thank you so much, Michelle. Good to see ya. Bobo, where you been? How you doing, baby? Good to see you. 19 months. Goodness. You guys are rock stars. Thank you so much, Bobo. Appreciate you, love. Love you and all you do. We love you, Bo. Good to see you, babies. Thank you so much for your continued support. Really, really do appreciate you, my dear. Beverly Chihuahua, thank you for renewing your membership, darling. Good to see you, my little Chihuahua with the crown on. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you. Yeah, Broken. You'll want to see that. Justin, when can I be in? Oh, you're fine, baby. You're fine, sweetie. Peace. Thank you so much. It looks much different on a desktop versus a phone. Just FYI. I know, like, I don't know if this is like glossed. Like, it looks darker than the door. But I'm like, is it just painted different? I'm like, is it a part of electronic? Why would it be right there? I was like, is it a sensor? Is it a bolt cover? Is it the doorbells, or not the doorbell? Is it the doors boob nipple? It's like an. It looks like it. I'm being stupid. I'm sorry. It looks like a nipple for a door. I don't know. Justin, is it a magnet and that could interfere with Wi-Fi? No, it's not. Y'all don't have these screen doors. No, we don't have them like this. It's different. Google the screenshot. What do you mean Google the screenshot? Oh, like the thing. It's just out there. It looks different from this, and then you zoom in. And you see, like, right here, it's got, like, it's lighter here, but is that just the way we're looking at it, the way that it's being photographed? You can tell this is a strong door because it's got, you call them nickels? Justin, very experienced. It's a tamper-proof screw. Just Google it. Like the reverse. Let me look. Let me ask AI what it is. That's what I'll do. All right. Here. AI. Oh, it's a tamper-proof screw. So, like, you can't. That's very thorough, right? Let me see here. What is this little circle on the door? I'm waiting for it to pop up. It says it looks like an adjustment cam keeper adjusted for a security screen door, not the main wood. It usually there to let an installer tweak the fit of the screen door so the latch lines up right and the door closes tighter. Uh-huh. I don't understand what it means. It's for the deadbolt assembly. I don't know, but just look at the video. That's the main thing that I want you to look at. Is he touching the door? Or is he touching the camera? Watch this. Right there. Touching the door of the camera. Clearly, this guy knows what he's doing. I mean, no, he's not touching the doorknob, Maurice, because the doorknob, you can see the doorknob. Here's the doorknob right there, and then there's the deadbolt. It's he's got to be touching either the camera or that little door nipple. Oh my God, Kelly, thank you so much. That is so very kind of. You're very sweet to me, Kelly. Appreciate you necklaces from Kelly. Make sure you give her a big thank you.
Hope people are paying attention to this.
Welcome to Clutch Them Pearls. Yeah, you're in the clue. Shine bright like the stars. This world never knew. We're dancing, laughing all around this world. Hold tight, shine bright. You're part of our pearl.
Thank you so much, Miss Kelly. That is very sweet, very kind of you. And welcome to the new pearls. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes. The doorknob still there. The door, yeah. I don't know. It's got to be, but I never noticed it until this. But you see, like you can tell where the bolts or the screws went in, where the latch or the bracket rather on the camera, and then it almost lines up with that, but I don't think it's anything. These doors look almost like they're handmade because you can see the weld, like it's a really thick weld. I don't know. To me, it almost looks like an electronic, but it's not electronic. Whoever, some Chillinois, they said whoever took Nancy Guthrie grabbed this little black thing on her front security door and tried spinning it, potentially leaving his DNA. This is yet another piece of evidence that wasn't initially taken until much later. I don't know if this was ever taken. Right. But nonetheless, I'm not convinced that they were playing with, turning this or whatever. I don't know why there would be a screw there, like to cover it up or whatever. It just doesn't make sense to me. May have been a custom install door. I think a lot of people out west have these kind of doors, but not really sure why, or not why, but how they're made or whatever. You know what I mean? Okay. So moving on here. I wanted to show you that. Now, you remember the other day whenever we were talking about some shoes, we were looking at different pairs of shoes that this guy may have walked in. Nancy was talking about it. I'll play that little clip right here. There's some new photos got here, and it's mainly, see this V, and it's got like a dot, but then you can see, you got to really zoom. You know what I can do probably? Let's do it like this. You can
Listen.
You can see like how it's almost perfect, and then it goes in and then out and then in again, and then it circles around, and then it goes down, and then it goes like a V. You got to look really closely, really, really closely. See how the V, it's very almost even, and then it goes in, up, in, like this.
Gentry, what do you make of it?
There's multiple drip stains on the porch that would indicate that she was standing there for some period of time while she's being taken out of the home. So That's
going
where
to give
our
you just 1
analysis
second.
that she was upright, walking out of the home, walking slowly, being assisted by someone else. That's where we are getting that opinion or that information. And realistically, people that are upright and walking near blood can step in blood. They can either be bleeding themselves and transfer blood to a surface, or they can step in blood that's already on a surface. And what we're seeing looks like some kind of a pattern impression. And a pattern impression in blood is just some object that looks like an object, creating a blood pattern. And that could be a footwear impression. It could be a sock. It could be maybe an object that somebody dropped. But in this case, it does look like a foot.
You know something?
In blood is just some object that looks like an object.
I was just trying to see if this looked like someone's shoe there that might have been on the point.
Creating a blood pattern. And that could be a footwear impression. It could be a sock. It could be maybe an object that somebody dropped. But in this case, it does look like a footwear pattern. It doesn't look like your typical like running shoe. It doesn't look like your Vans type pattern. To me, it looks more like a trail shoe or a hiking shoe. But then,
okay, so you see that. Yeah, I mean, we know this is Nancy's blood. This is 100% Nancy's blood, and it is, from that night. Look at this. You see how it goes in, straight across, out like this, right? And then there's this. Look at it very closely. Make it bigger for you. If you're on your phone or a smart device, you can kind of pinch in and even zoom in closer. Right? And then there's these little diamonds here and then right here. Then it goes like around. Very interesting, right? See how it goes in. Let me actually, this is what I'll do. I'm going to make it even bigger for you guys. Okay, you see how it's kind of like a triangle, like an upside down triangle, and then it kind of on each side, it's very symmetry, right? And then there's this, another kind of triangle, and then another triangle. They're just, one is upside down, one is upright, and then there's another one. And then it kind of goes around. Then another triangle, triangle, triangle. And there's a hole right there. See it? Isn't that interesting? Oops, someone sent me something. One second. Oh, wow. Okay. So, all right. Let me show you something here. Here we go. And there's 2 dots over here. And you can tell when we look at this closer, this is a shoe print. We missed this. Whoever did this the other night is brilliant. You can see it repeats itself. There's just not enough blood, right? And you can tell in these that there's patterns. There is patterns here in this. It didn't just dry like that. Right? So It's on the bottom of the perp shoes. Hell yeah, it is. It absolutely is. It's smudged Under Armour shoe logos. Yeah, we was looking at. I need to find the bottom of them. Here's one, right? And
Listen, Gentry.
Whoever's shoes, actually, let me pull this up. Whoever shoes these are, they are. Do they say what shoes they? He believes it looks like a trail or hiking shoe, which would kind of make sense. Nancy was saying, and let me show you the Ozark, which again is a trail or a hiking shoe. Here's an Ozark right here. Again, Ozark you get at Walmart. See how there's different angles to it. It's one or the other, but I really don't know. Investigators would, but it would make sense that it's Ozark. How are there no other shoe prints though? I don't know. I mean, Plant Lady, there's just not a lot of blood. You know what I mean? Are you talking about Linda? Are you talking about the cane? Here you go. I can show you. Someone just sent me this. Let me show you. I don't know if it's this, but that's very interesting. How these canes go in. I don't think it's a cane, but that's very interesting pattern as well. But I think these are bigger, the cane things though. That's the thing. But that's very good looking. $27 shoes. He's broke. I think this person again, I think it's a KILL kit, in my opinion. I think it's just a KILL kit. And everything was bought inside and outside of Walmart. Or in the backpack, sorry, inside and outside of the backpack. Saying we want to do a pure broke. I don't know. Okay. But hopefully, let me look at this. Let me look at this guy's stuff. He steps right on that mat. Right on that mat. And just think of this, guys. Do you know how valuable that mat could be? All right, let's say this guy steps in Nancy's blood inside the door. Right? And then he steps right on the mat. Right on the mat. They could get amazing impressions on that mat even. They can get obviously fibers, all kinds of things. It's just crazy that was she comparing them to Tommy's? Don't know. Who you mean? Okay, one second. To be so well planned, right? To be so well planned, you just are very dumb for this. See, it says this is on the FBI website. In the Ozark. Oh, look at this, guys. Look how the Ozark, I mean, obviously it's mountains, but look at how you see kind of like the shoe we were talking about, like the triangles as well. I think it's Ozark. Look at that. Look at the logo of that. We don't see the logo on the Perps backpack, but they know somehow or another. Do you think there would be usable DNA from the welcome mat if they are brand new shoes? I'm having a hard time understand how it would be helpful unless his saliva dropped on it or something. Ashley, there is, however, he got. If he was in his house with these shoes, if he was in his car vehicle with these shoes, absolutely, absolutely. New shoes or not, even brand new shoes, even before you get them, right? They have somebody else's DNA all over them. But but what I'm saying is this is Ozark. I don't know what it says, trail maybe, but you see like how the mountains, how the triangles and stuff. Remember how we were just looking at the shoes? Let me see if I can find it. Give me a second here. How they kind of have the triangles. See the triangles? All the triangles in this. All the triangles. That makes me think it's Ozark. Of course, Ashley. Here's the back. Back view of black 25-liter Ozark backpack, hiker pack backpack rather. Side view of 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker backpack. And this is FBI, by the way. Oh, little Nancy. Speaking of, I want to show you there's some photos we need to go over of the inside of her house. Actually, JLR, I think he got a photo today. Oh, did y'all see this? This was Nancy and Savannah and I guess family, friends, I don't know. But they are at, I believe this is Nancy's house. They're playing their game, whatever the game is called. Sudoku, whatever, something. Mohang, that's it. I was way off. Sunoco, Mahong. Yeah, that's it. Oh my lord. Okay. Uh Mahjong, Mahong, Cheech and Chong, whatever. Okay, this door right here. This looks like the garage door, right? Look at this. Am I right or am I right? See, there's a car here. You see that? Donkey Kong, yes. But do you see the garage door? And then so when she walks in the house, Justin, you're cracking me. I still don't know how to pronounce it. I don't either. How could or he could have bought it online? Oh yeah. Yeah. No. This is not a sliding door. No. To me, this looks like the kind that's got the blinds built in or just has a pane there. A glass pane. Is this like a I don't know if it's a kitchen or a dining room. I don't know if it's a washer, dryer, or a freezer, or a table. Something over there. But if she walks in, looks like a frame glass door. Let me see. Give me a second. Okay. What? Sometimes when I go to a news station, too. Let's see what it is.
These are on their way. Until you remember.
Is this live or? Oh, I don't think it comes on exactly at 10 o'clock.
And the Pima County, Arizona sheriff is facing a recall hearing next week over his handling of the high-profile Nancy Guthrie case. The mother.
Is this new?
Senior national correspondent Brian Enton just interviewed somebody close to that case.
Okay.
Who claims the first responders didn't know anything they were doing when they went to the Guthrie home.
The first investigators who responded to Nancy Guthrie's home were inexperienced, and the supervisor had never investigated a homicide before, we are told. This brand new information is coming from a source close to the investigation who sat down with me for an exclusive interview on News Nation, giving new insight into the sheriff's department that's been forced into the national spotlight because of this case. We've protected this person's identity for fear of retaliation for speaking out. From what you know, were the initial people who responded inexperienced?
The people that were there on the scene were not 10-year homicide detectives. They didn't have a lot of experience in
Sounds like
homicide
me
at
when I
that
wake
point,
up in the morning.
to include the supervisor, who, from my understanding, never investigated a homicide before being installed as the supervisor for the homicide unit.
So wait, so the supervisor who first responded to Nancy Guthrie's house had never investigated a homicide?
Correct.
How is that possible?
Well, so you have decisions made by people that will install friends and people that can do stuff for them, opposed to people that are there on their merit and can do the job correctly.
A lot of turmoil here in Pima County. We've reported on that over the last couple of months, including a unanimous no confidence vote against the sheriff here, Sheriff Chris Nanos. He's fought back against criticisms involving his leadership, his department in this case, saying he trusts his team. We reached out to the sheriff for comment on these specific allegations. He's not responded at this time. The insider also tells me the lack of experience in the initial response led to mistakes in those early days of the investigation. I'm going to have more on that. And they have a message for Savannah Guthrie. Watch my interview tonight on Katie Pavlich tonight. It's on News Nation 10 o'clock.
What did he say? On what?
News Nation 10 on Katie Pavlich tonight. It's on Katie Pavlich tonight. It's on.
What's a Katie Tablich? What the hell's a Katie Tablich? What is Brian saying? Haji, one of the first responders on Nancy's, right? Her home. Here, listen.
I'm going to have more on that. And they have a message for Savannah Guthrie. Watch my interview tonight on Katie Pavlich tonight. It's 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 on.
Katie Tablich? Katie Pavlich? Okay. They're still not playing it. No. Did they play it yet? Nope. Still haven't played it. Who knows when it's going to play? It sounded like it was like Katie Pavlich. Katie Sandwich. Found a Katie Cable. She's on new name. I was like, huh? What the hell's that? Okay. So, did you guys see this? What the Katie said? What's a Katie Pavlich? It sounds like a. Never mind. I'm not going to be mean because nobody can help their name. Justin, can you put up the picture again in the kitchen? I wonder how old it is. Well, here, look at this. I just realized what it is. This is an old picture, in my opinion. Now watch this. Hold on. Follow me. Follow me, children of the corn. Here we go. This is the same area, in my opinion. And I'm not talking about Katie Pavlich. Remember how I said I think that's a washer or something like that? If you look here at the door, right? And then there's a table. And then behind Nancy, there's a counter. This is the same. Look at the light switches. Boom. Look at the door. Boom. Look at the counter. Boom. Look at the table. Boom. It's just upgraded. It's the same. Bingo. Yes. We're getting it. We are getting it, girls and guys. See? Obviously, this is probably from like the 70s, 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s. It was the style then. And then this is upgraded. So she walks out, you can see right here in this picture, that goes to the garage. So Nancy this is the first place she's going to walk in when she opens the garage door, she goes through the garage, and this is the door that she's going to open. Got it? Yeah. Check out Armor shoes. No, Lydia. Why would I? Where did you get that from? No, I'm not. No. Miss Mama, thank you so much, my dear, for renewing your membership. Appreciate you. Just a random the first time I saw that pic of her playing, well, she's big into this game for sure. Mohong, Mojang, Cheech and Chong, whatever it is. But okay, now look. Thank you so much, Ms. Mama. Trying to fix something. Okay, so we can agree that
doors that you have.
Walking through that door, the house first, and
You're sure we should have the interior walls, but so we're left to try to figure that out. And that door that we were just seeing is right here. And so that's going to
inside the garage.
Right,
Meaning
inside,
if you drive into the garage
yeah.
and then you got out of your car and kept walking forward, that would be, point to that again, put your cursor where that was again. You would be walking through the door to the interior of the house from the garage right there.
Right. And so when Nancy was dropped off that night and the garage door opened, she likely went through that door to go into the house.
So can you flip to and knowing now that you'd be walking through that door, and that it's not that little blue door that we've all been looking at in the backyard, flip to the inside. Well, should we flip to the inside of the house so we can see what you're referring to by the way you get from the garage into the house and where it lands you.
So I think this is it right here. So this, I believe that this image right there, now you see that there isn't glass on the lower portion of it.
Right.
Because that door looks like one of the newer type of doors that you have with the blinds inside the glass.
That's what I just said a minute ago. I don't know if it's the same. I have a door very similar to this, and it's got like the blinds built in, but then there's some that's just got the big glass. But looking, you can see from outside the garage when the FBI is in that garage, and it does look like the ones with the blinds built in. I agree.
And so I think this is an area where you come into the house and then you turn to the right and it heads towards the back. Now, if you look way back there, you can literally see the cement wall in the backyard there.
There's a door right here. This is the side door. You get what I mean? This is the one on the side of the patio. The one on the, the patio, like the porch, it's on the side wall right there.
So it is the correct, I really believe this is an image from inside the house. Yeah, the orientation is correct.
And also just note for a minute, if you will, again, it's a little bit disorienting because it's not what we all thought. If you were to walk through that door, and we're going to presume here, because Gray and I have not been in the house, so we're just going by the outside plans, where the windows all fall, and these interior photos, which could be very old. So you've walked.
No, this right here goes to the garage. There's a door. You see right here where this yellow mouse is? There's a door. You can't see it, but there's a door right there.
Walked in that door, and if it is the garage, you've walked straight along the length of the car and into the kitchen, and you turn to the right. And if you walk along those cabinets, you can see there's no windows there, so you're presumably walking along the nose of the car, and then maybe the nose of another car. You're walking along the front of the garage there, which is why there's no light coming in that side. But that would, as Gray just said, land you at the back of the house as you get to those windows.
And you can see right there, it does go around. See it right there, it would go around the corner, and that does match the map, right? So see right there, it comes around. Yes. So it's looking pretty good. The window's kind of weird though.
No. Here's the garage door, or here's the garage. It doesn't show doors or walls in this plan, but then there's like a door here where my mouse is, and then here's the kitchen, and then back here's the patio, right? And then there's a door right here where it says 7-8. There's a door right there, and there's that door with that little room beside the garage.
All right.
And then there's another door here somewhere. I can't remember.
The windows are tricky, and I will say that I think some of the windows may be a little bit overgrown, especially where the sink is. So if you go to the left, you can see over to the far left, that's where you would stand at the sink. You can see through the window, but it feels like it might be one of the windows that's very, very overgrown with some of the foliage on the outside of Nancy's house.
Yeah, so if we go take a look at that.
Look at all that greenery.
A large window there, and there might be a window behind there.
Mm-hmm.
I've looked for it. I can't see one, but it's also too thick to know for certain.
It's hard to tell. Okay, so just as you're looking at that picture, you can now see to the right of everything that Gray just showed you, that foliage, that window.
Okay, right here, door. This is the door. It's inside right there. Let me see if I can pull that up. Oops, wrong one. No. Anyway, it's in the patio right here, and it's right there. And then I think there's another door down here. I can't.
There's a cover. There's an awning over this patio, and the patio is significant because we've now learned where the second significant door is to Nancy's house, and we do not know which door was used by the perpetrator to gain access. We just know what I reported from my source, and that is that her back doors, plural, were often left unlocked, according to Nancy's children telling the police. So, all right, Gray, let's walk under that awning best we can and sort of place through different photographs and some of the drone shots that we've been able to freeze from Fox and from News Nation, what the placement is of the wall.
Yes, it's on the, so door, and then it's on the other side of the wall, the furthest side of the wall here. It's also a dog.
And windows and a door under that awning.
I think this is the blue door underneath the awning right here. And
that'll be the second door now.
Yeah, and that's the second one. And the first one is the one that leads into the storage unit over there. But there, it's blue, and it's just right there. And I think that's a way to get into the house. And you're you're getting near Nancy's room at this point too, when you enter that door.
I don't
significant
think so,
about this door, though, and Fox was very good at pointing this out.
There's no evidence of that.
And that is that you can see that it's got a door handle, it's got a lock, it's a standard door. It is not special or, unique in any way. It is a standard door that has a door lock. You don't see it necessarily exactly there. You can see it on that picture there. You can see the handle, and again, it breaks my heart to think that this might have been one of the doors that he used to get through, given that it is a locking door. You can see just barely a little deadbolt. So this is a key picture here. This is the couch outside on the patio under the awning. And if you're sitting on this couch, you're facing the pool, the grass, and you can see the reflection of the grass in this outdoor window.
Backyard.
But it is clearly a window, not a door. And it sort of spans the length of this outdoor sofa.
And we know exactly where that is. Well, where all the the furniture is and the walls.
There's nothing to say that they just said that Grandma Ladybug, how do her children know that if she lived alone, they were not there that specific night to know that she left the doors open? They're not saying that Nancy left the doors. I mean, I've heard people speculate and say, well, Nancy might have left the doors open for the night air or something like that. There's no way. No, there's no way. It was 10 o'clock already when she got home. No way. There's those little pigs that run around everywhere. There's wildlife. And she had to be up early the next morning. Whoever propped those doors open.
And stuff like that. That's hard. However, this is what it looked like at one point in there. Here is that window that we were just looking at. Notice
on the outside of that window, you'd be sitting on a sofa looking out into that greenery.
Just like that.
Right there.
This reminds me of anywhere from 1997 to 2005, 2000. It's
on the outside of that window, you'd be sitting on a sofa looking out into that greenery.
Just like that.
Right there. Yeah.
Right. And then we go back to here. Now, here's something that's interesting, just to add more proof to it. So here's the door over there. Now, again, these pictures might be 15, 20 years ago. I don't know. But look back here, this brick wall. See how the brick wall goes like that?
Right.
And then there's a corner right there, and then it turns.
Okay, so if you go to right here, let me find it.
It's like that.
Right there. Yeah.
Right. And then we go back to here. Now, here's something that's interesting.
This is her back patio. This is the wall. Over there's the pool.
Add more proof to it. So here's the door over there. Now, again, these pictures might be 15, 20 years ago. I don't know. But look back here, this brick wall. See how the brick wall goes like that?
Right.
And then there's a corner right there, and then it turns. So if we go back up to Google Earth and flip around, right there, there is the wall, the corner, and then it turns.
Yeah.
So it's definitely the right space, and that's where that window is right there, and that door is right in here.
And that door, if you were to walk out the door, you would immediately see a brick wall on your left, and that's the brick wall of the, I believe, the bedrooms that start in the farther part of the home. See that brick wall through the window of the door right there? You open the door, and you got literally a brick wall on your left, which appears to be maybe the bedrooms.
Which is right there, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that's door number 2, and we've assessed where those windows are. And to the left, Gray, to the left of that patio furniture, I was thinking, well, maybe there's another door that goes closer into where the kitchen is. And under that awning,
let me just show you something. You see, if they took her out the back, right? If they took her out the back and the patio, they've got to go through all the patio. They've got to walk through the lawn, up on the sidewalk or through the bushes, through this. It's kind of zigzaggy. And then there's a gate, and then you can go out. This is the reason why they took her out the front door, because they could pull up the car right there to the sidewalk, and it would be closer without maneuvering left and right.
Another door that goes closer into where the kitchen is. And under that awning, many of the drone shots, very, very hard to see, but Mo Moran, who's one of the greatest photographers of all time, and I've worked with him many, many days, he was able to get his drone to look to the left under the awning, and it is just a straight up brick wall. There is no door. There is nothing. There's not even a window to the left of all that furniture. There's just some lovely plants. It's like a little plant corner, but clearly not another window, not another door. So you can sort of X off that area to the left of the awning, under the awning, the left part under the awning. There is no additional door at that patio. There is only one door in that patio. Then we go to the right, Gray, and you can see the air conditioning, or at least the vent unit there. And I think there's
Okay. And then back here's another, this is the patio, and there's sliding doors here.
Window there as well,
I think
right?
there's a
To the
window
left of
right
that?
here
Yeah.
and right there. There's 2 windows there.
Which could be 1 or 2 small bedrooms.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It's weird. It's the way this is laid out is pretty interesting. I mean, it's it's hard to put when you look at there's only 3 pictures that I have of the interior. And so we don't know exactly, but we do know that Nancy's room is, I believe we know that her room is right here. And this is going to be a slider that goes out to the deck. And then I think
We don't know. We assume based on some
Right.
things you're going to show us. Basically, we've got a few ideas of what the interior looks like based on these photos that Gray has been showing you. Also, the Today Show segment that she did. What was it? 2012. I'm trying to remember the date. It was a long time ago.
2013 maybe.
Yeah, and
Close.
she did a Today Show segment on how to make your bed. And so they had a live camera
see
in her
this?
bedroom
Did you
when
see this
Savannah
now?
and her co-anchors. It was just sort of a fun segment on the best protocols for making a good bed. And it was really sweet. But that window, Gray, that you're basically front and center is an important window to look at based on the pictures that we saw on the Today Show segment.
Right. And I think the headboard is just right over here. So there is a space here that could be a bathroom, another bedroom. We don't know. Like these windows here go to a different room that's not Nancy's room. And there's a wall right there behind the headboard. All right. And so there's a slider, we're assuming goes from her room. It seems to make sense that you have a slider to go out to a private patio.
And that the master bedroom would have the slider and not the kids' bedrooms. I mean, that's not
Right,
usually what you want
exactly.
in your children's bedrooms
So
is a sliding door.
This is Nancy's bedroom that we seen when she was changing her sheets and stuff like that. Now, could someone jump over this and try to get in here? Yeah. I don't think this is how they got in.
Get out.
Exactly.
Most people don't realize how exposed their digital lives really are until something.
1 second. No. Okay. Actually, they're going to show it. Watch this. And you can see when she's watch this.
That little window. Do you have that still shot from the Today Show that shows sort of where Nancy was standing?
Yeah, let
and
me
it shows
grab
that
it.
window on that little window up. So here's
It is
the
a dark
segment where
spot.
the cameraman and is shooting the headboard.
Yeah. Do you want me to leave it here? I think there's another one that's a little bit more to the left.
See, these are the sliding doors right here.
Further
Off
into
to the left, you see the window.
Yeah, right
That goes
there.
out to the side of the house. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you can kind of see it even in this image. You're cut off on your screen, but
Yeah.
right up to the
Is that the
left, there's a
sliding door?
window there and a curtain. And I think if I move, let me just try to move it forward further down. Yeah, right there. This one is really got the whole window that you can see. And then you can see
And
how
so the
close-
headboard, just so people know, the headboard, Nancy's headboard, would be a wall, perhaps with the next bedroom over.
I wonder if she still had the same bed and stuff. Nancy was very particular about housekeeping, number 1, and number 2, specifically like about her bed and stuff.
Over that would go towards the back of the house. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think that wall right there, if you look back out to here, that wall would have to be somewhere in the middle of this window and this one. So there is another room, perhaps a master bathroom or a bedroom.
Or maybe 2 bedrooms. They had 3 kids.
Sure.
Growing up, and Savannah said she spent the latter part of her life there, but a long part of her life, and she's got 2 siblings, so there's got to be enough bedrooms in the house. But I think you're right. I think that slider is most probably into a master bedroom than a kid's bedroom. So
Yeah,
now
this
you were
one
going
was
to
her
tell
bedroom.
us about the adjacent.
That was
Because
actually
that's
her
door number 3 now, right? We've gotten to that door.
Hold on. So you see how they can just pull up right here? They could open up a door or the trunk and just put her in.
About the
Here's that patio right there.
adjacent, because that's door.
Nancy also loved gardening. plants and
Door
stuff.
number 3 now, right? We've gotten to that door number 3 in that little nook. I call it the alcove nook on the corner of the house, and it's the front of the house. That little nook is the front of the house. So you see the slider going into the room that we just guessed was Nancy's.
Darling.
There's another slider going in the other angle.
Right there.
And that's, and that right there is the living room, because we now know because of your pictures inside.
Yeah. So here we go. It's actually pretty interesting to look at this. So we see this fireplace right here. And then I'm just going to turn it like this. So you know that the slider's right there and there's a window right there. So let's just turn it like this.
There's a window on either side of the fireplace, which is now the front of the house. That fireplace is on the front of the house.
And so here's the fireplace. There's the window on the left, and there is the slider that goes out to the private patio where Nancy could go from her room to the right over there.
She could go out the living room slider, take a right, and go in a slider into the presumed master bedroom.
Exactly.
And that fireplace, if we could get the picture wider, which you can't, would have another window right over there on the left-hand side of it.
That's right. And then the door to go outside is a little bit even more back behind us a little bit.
Almost where you're standing. If you're the photographer, you're probably standing close to the front door at this point, right?
Mm-hmm. So like that shot was...
I've not seen though, but I've heard that Nancy was going to was thinking about selling her house at one point, but didn't.
Taken from probably somewhere like this, but inside the home.
There's the chimney.
And then there's the arches right there that goes inside the house. So we couldn't see this window. So we were probably like right here inside the house.
So that is door number 3. And are we at door number?
I think it was number 4. This is 4
2,
here.
3, and 4. Yeah, door number 3 was the presumed master bedroom. Door number 4 is the living room slider. 2 sliders. Door number 5 is, of course, the front door.
That's it.
Yeah. Very, very tricky to sort of navigate all of that. But
yeah, it was pretty recent.
I don't know how often you've done these stories where there's been burglaries or missing people or murders or, some kind of terrible crime. But so many law enforcement officers I've spoken with, federal level, local level, state level, say sliding doors are usually a culprit. People just forget about the locks on the slide. They're usually a latch. It's a little different.
It's usually like this little latch thingy that kind of, or sometimes you can push them up or push them down. But I just don't think it's a sliding door that they got in. I don't.
Than your normal pop a button or turn a lever. The
do a
sliding
poll
doors
here.
are a real problem.
Yeah, I think, Koberger went through a sliding glass door as well.
Yeah, he did.
And maybe
Sure
that
did.
wasn't locked either. Like, hey, we let the dogs out, people come in and out, and you just don't lock the door.
Well, that is the story of the kitchen door in the back at 1122 King Road. They never locked the back door. Every friend of theirs said it was open. You were always able to go in and out. And honestly, at a student house, you would just do that. You would think you would do that. Maybe 5 girls living together.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be a little bit more tricky. You would think about security more. But honestly, there were just so many kids that came and went. It didn't seem like it was a problem to leave that slider open.
Yeah, exactly. And then in this case, you have 2 sliders where you're surrounded by a wall. So you probably think,
What'd I do? One second. Sorry, guys.
self in a home, and what.
And we don't know where this predator gained access. We only know that they're.
It'll add it to the poll. Put a 1 in chat if you think the perpetrator came through the front door. 1, 2, some of the back doors. 3, garage. 4, sliders. 1, 2, 3, or 4. It will automatically add it to that poll right there. Pretty unanimous. Interesting. I mean, he could have came through a window for all we know, but I don't.
Are those two sliders, right? And that Nancy left her back doors, plural, open very regularly, which would have been a door that would have gone into the garage. And so many people leave their garage doors to their homes open as well. Very few people think to lock the door that goes out into your garage because your garage seems like a sacrosanct place as well.
Well, what door do you think was the one that was left wide open now?
I mean, at this point, I think it may have been that one next to the patio furniture because.
So this is what confuses. Okay, so this door right here, right? From what I understand, and this makes no sense to me, this room allegedly doesn't go to anywhere. Right? Like if you look at the model, let me show you. If you look at the model here, hold on. Does that go into the garage? See, I was thinking it was, I seen a thing where it just showed, okay, right here. See the garage? Am I looking at this wrong? See the garage? And then there's a line there, which usually is a wall. And so I was thinking it didn't go to the garage. And if it doesn't go to the garage, why would you keep that door open? Right? Why would you open that door? You would either not know this house or you need something in there. 8 foot by 6 foot. 20 more legs. You're amazing, Green Eyes. Or hiding in there. I don't think she left the doors unlocked either. Yeah, I agree. But then, yeah, like it's weird how those are. And again, you see over here, this is not a completely accurate because there's no bedrooms or anything. So this could be wrong. It could be wrong. But if this is a room to itself, that's very weird that hold on. That they would just keep that door open. Right? If it doesn't go anywhere. You either need something out of that or you're just staying in there. See right here? Storage. Carport. I don't get it. I really don't get it. All right, watch this. See, this is the door that goes to the kitchen. That goes where Nancy and them was sitting, right there. Where they was playing their game.
Oh, inside of here.
Let's see. Go to the left of the wood pile and the back wall. Like the back wall, what are we seeing over there?
I see, it looks like...
That's a fan. It looks like or it looks like that's either a fan or one of those like cat wheels, exercise wheels or something. Is that a fridge to the right?
Like some wheels.
I don't see a fridge. That's the door.
Or either weights or a wheel on the ground there. What do you think?
Is it just storage? Like it's a brick wall next to a plaster wall, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just brick wall, the same wall. It looks like it's made out of the same stuff that the garage is.
Was it indented?
Yeah, maybe.
It's really
maybe
hard to tell.
You know what's interesting to me? And this may be nothing. It may absolutely be nothing. And it could have been the crime. It could be the crime scenes bottle where they're spraying chemicals. But I don't see Nancy ever leaving a spray bottle like that. I just don't see her leaving it on the ground like that. Because she's meticulous. You see what I mean? Everything is very ordered with her. Even the broom is kind of knocked down. And it would be a trip hazard in that broom as well. But again, that could be the crime scene. They could be spraying a chemical on it. But I don't see her even leaving. Nancy's not going to do that, I don't think. I think they're checking that floor. Well, they were really looking at something. And you know something here? Which garages can have these, but you see these spots right there? It could be something. It may just be where they're checking something. Maybe oil, could be dirt. And then if you see through here, you can see like where they've wetted or something, or see that? Can trace it out, and then these spots as well. Again, it might not be anything. Blood came from Nancy. Yeah, I don't believe it was staged. The blood was staged. No. Mm-mm. Very orderly, yeah. So is the white on the window the same as the white in the kitchen that we saw next to the dining room? Yes. Right there. See? They are the same. Mm-hmm. This is the outside, inside, like looking inside the garage. And this is the other side of it in the kitchen. You see, I mean, you can tell they're playing their games. She's got coasters. She's got lemon water. Everything is nice and neat, very orderly. She's got her smartwatch on too. Did y'all notice that? She's got her smartwatch on. She's got a bandage right there. You know, I think this might have been, I wonder if this was in October when she was out there. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to play Inton tomorrow, Sylvia, because I always want to give them some time to let him get his views and stuff on it before, and I want to look at it before I commentate on it, before I play Brian's stuff. So yeah, Burger's often staged trying to reflect from the deflection rather. That is true. Yes. They can on a lot of things. I don't think with the blood though. Yeah. It does have the built-in blinds on the door. Yes. And it usually has like a little thing where you can slide up and down, by the way. Hey, Joe. Good to see you, my friend. All right, y'all. That's going to be it for me this evening. You guys are amazing. Really, really do appreciate you. Make sure you go over to Brian Inton's channel or News Nation. And Brian's got a new video up. Let me see if it's out. Yeah, I'll drop the link so you guys can head right over there. Yep, here it is. Stores close to the Nancy Guthrie investigation has message to Savannah and major concerns, day 61. Here it is. We'll discuss some of it tomorrow. There's Brian Inton's. Maybe if it's going to go. Give me 1 second. What's wrong with it? Let's see if it'll work. Okay, there it went. I think it did. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys are all amazing. Special thanks to mods, members, chat, everyone. You guys are awesome. I pray that Nancy is found very soon. There's a break or something. This is going to be really close, though. Whatever it is, whoever it is, it's going to be close. This is not going to be some random stranger. Not at all. It's going to be someone close. How close? I don't know. Thank you, second to no one. Love you, darling. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Get some rest, everyone. Justice for Nancy. Good night and God bless.